If you're a pressure washing or exterior cleaning business and you want to know how you can increase your lead flow with Google Ads, this is the video for you, because today I'm going to break down multiple clients' accounts, how much they spent, how many leads that they got, how much they were paying for each lead, because in the month of March, we saw phenomenal results. One of our clients landed a $125,000 contract. Another one of our clients had their biggest month in their company history, which they did over $60,000 in 1 month. And so I want to break down how these results looked like in March, because if you want to maximize your busy season, you want to maximize the demand in the exterior cleaning industry, then you need to be running Google Ads as soon as you can. And so I'm going to show you clients from all over: Florida, South Carolina, Colorado. So they're going to be from all over, and I'll let you know. We're going to break down their numbers and what you can expect if you're running Google Ads. So let's get started. This first client that I'm reviewing right now is actually in Florida. And so when they first came to us, they were paying over $100 per lead. And so they came to us and said, "Look, Jonathan, we've seen your YouTube videos, which are videos just like this, and we've seen that you have been able to get phenomenal results with getting cost per lead down and, increasing lead volume." And I said, "Of course." And so he wanted to run pressure washing and roof cleaning, and we ended up building out a campaign for that. Now, in the first half of February, it went okay, but as you guys can see, as we're going to be breaking down all the results of March, from March 1st to March 31st, he spent an overall of $3,000. He got 51 leads. That's what conversions are. And we count conversions as either phone calls or when people submit their contact information. And then cost per conversion is just cost per lead. So he paid about $60 per lead on that. And then if I look, because we use a tracking system for how much money he had made off of these ads, it's been upwards of $15,000 to $20,000. And so he's really killing it. He's getting about anywhere between a 5 to 10x ROI from these ads. And so just for pressure washing alone, he spent, $2,200, got 37 leads. And then even for roof cleaning, spent $831 and got 14 leads from that at $59 a pop. And so as you know, the roof cleaning is a little bit of a higher ticket. So he definitely crushed it with that. Now here's another one of our clients. Now, this client is actually in Colorado, and window cleaning is their main service. So even if you're a window cleaning business, you can still start running some ads here in March to ramp up, even though in some areas it's not as in demand. And so if I look right now, this client spent an overall of $1,100. They got 32 leads, and they were paying $36 per lead. And majority of those came from window cleaning. As you can see, they got $29. So they got $29 right there for not $29, but 29 leads, and it was $38 per lead for that. And they got some gutter cleaning, so they only spent $16, a lead for gutter cleaning during this month, but not the volume that we typically see. But as you can see right here, though, window cleaning did really good for that market for this client. And so another client that we have right now, they're in Pennsylvania, and so Pennsylvania can really be a colder state, as you guys already know, but things are already picking up in March right now. So this client spent an overall of $1,400. They got 39 leads, and they paid a whopping $38 per lead. And they're running pressure washing and paver sealing campaign. Majority of their leads came from their pressure washing campaign, where they spent $1,100, got 37 leads at $31 a pop. What really raised it to $38 was that we're running paver sealing, and usually paver sealing doesn't pick up until springtime and fall time as well. Those are like the two busiest times for it, because it's weather permitting, because it's too cold in the winter, and sometimes in the summer it can be a little bit too humid. But as you look right now, the average ticket for paver sealing is still going to be about above $1,000. So this client got 2 leads for it at $168. I know that over time, just from the historical data, that will definitely increase. And so this next client that we have is actually in South Carolina, and they're just running a typical pressure washing campaign. And so if you look right now, they spend about $1,900. They got 37 leads, and we're paying about $53 per lead. And so that's really good lead volume at that point for this area. And this has been a client of ours for now 3 years, I want to say. And so we really have things locked in, and so they're really killing it. Now, another client that we do have right now as well, they're in Florida. So they are also running pressure washing, roof cleaning, and paver sealing. And overall, they spent $2,500, got 46 leads, and they're paying $55 per lead for that. And if you just break it down, they're all seeing similar lead cost for pressure washing, for roof cleaning, for paver sealing. So for pressure washing, they spent $1,400, got 27 leads at about $55 a lead. For roof cleaning, they spent $751, got 13 leads at about $58 per lead. And then for paver sealing, they spent $303, got 6 leads at $50 a pop. So overall, like I said, guys, their average ticket is clearly, I think their average ticket is around $450 to $500. So it's definitely being profitable for them what they're paying per lead, against their average ticket. So if I go to this next client, they're actually in Virginia. And so even in Virginia, things can start off a little bit slower and then ramp up. But this client's been killing it ever since we started working with them back in October of last year. I mean, this client hasn't turned off the ads. They actually, in their first month, closed a $17,000 job from the ads. And they just said, hey, Jonathan, let that thing run for the entire winter. And so now that we're in March, we really have the results dialed in because we got all of that data and we didn't stop any momentum. And so now if you look overall, they spent about $1,200, got 26 leads at $46 a pop. And majority of these leads came from pressure washing where they spent $1,000, got 21 leads, and they paid about $48 per lead for that. Then for roof cleaning, not as much volume in this area because it's a little bit more landlocked. But for roof cleaning, they still got, $60 per lead. And then gutter cleaning, they got 3 leads, for $18 in March. And so this is probably a campaign with the gutter cleaning that we're probably going to turn off going into this spring season and look to turn back on during the actual fall time. And so now this client that we have right here is a client in Kentucky. And this client is doing really good. And you would think that they're not in the biggest city that you would think in Kentucky, right? They're not in the biggest city that you would think. They're in a sizable city, but still, like, even if you do have enough targeting and you travel where you need to go ahead and go, then you'll be able to get phenomenal results. So like this client right here, they ended up spending $645, got 18 leads at about $36 a pop. And so this is exactly where I want these numbers to be at for this client. Are we promising them the world? No, we're not. But steady, consistent lead flow for this client it's on point for them. And so that's something that they are very satisfied with. Now, when it comes to this client, same thing. This client is actually in Georgia. So this is a Georgia client that we've been running ads for on and off, and they're doing pretty good also. They don't have a bigger budget. They kind of want to stay in that $1,000 to $1,500 a month range. And so they spend $679 and they're just running pressure washing. We're starting roof cleaning this month in April. That's why you don't see any numbers on here. But if you look, they just ran pressure washing. They got about they spent about $680, got 14 leads, and about $48 a pop. And so for them, it works because this client of ours also has a full-time job. And so this is able to, they're able to go ahead and get consistent leads for their business, and still be profitable. And now, right here, this is one of our other clients that we have in North Carolina, and they do pressure washing and window cleaning. And so right now, they actually spend $3,100, got 51 leads, and about $62 they're paying per lead because it's a competitive market that they're in. And if we look at it right now, right, so for their pressure washing, they got 42 leads at about $63 a pop. Then for window cleaning, they got about 9 leads for $55 a pop. And so they spent $500 to get these leads right here. So they spend about $500 for these window cleaning leads overall for 9 of them, and they spend about $2,600 for 42 leads, which is why you get $63 a lead. And so right now, just like I said, overall 51 leads. We've been running with this client for about a year and a half now, and so this is going really good for them. And so I can't wait to see what they're able to do. So yes, if you want to run Google Ads for your exterior cleaning business, I definitely believe it is a phenomenal option for you to go ahead and do. So if you want to see if it's viable in your market and what kind of numbers you can expect, go ahead and click the link in the description for a free strategy and lead flow acceleration session with me and my team, and we'll go ahead and break this down to make sure that it is viable not only in your market but for your business. So yes, thank you for watching the video, and I'll definitely see you guys in the next one.